So things are going quite well, to be honest. But today we've got Dortmund and Bayern Leverkusen. So I expect two really big defeats. Hello and welcome to Around the World in 80 Clubs. Since you were last with me, we have won every game. We went on to Heidenheim, which we won 6-2 with beats Luis Alberto and Sotkek getting a hat trick. That's trying to hard to say. We then went on to beat Eintracht Frankfurt 3-2 with Milikovic, Salami and Luis Alberto on the score sheet. We then most recently beat Gladbach 4-2 with Luis Alberto hat-trick and Lanes getting a goal there as well. So today we're at home against Dortmund and away against Bayern Leverkusen. In the league, Dortmund are currently top, but Bayern Leverkusen, all the way down in ninth, are struggling a little bit. So, yes, that's interesting. But for today's game, let's just check. When was the 22nd? I think we may have had some change. Yeah, we've Kirchberg went out on loan at the end of the season. The English hard to speak. Went out on loan on the final on deadline day. He's out for a permanent. So he's got out on loan, and the loan will become permanent via I think it was a £6.5 million bid. So yes, that was incredibly interesting, and Bechtel also has gone out on loan. The idea was I wanted to free up some transfer money. I'd actually got a couple of players lined up, but for some reason the players were mucking around and didn't agree in time. So we actually ended up with nobody, I don't think, coming in the end. But hey, you can only do what you can do. So for today's game against Dortmund, we have Jacobs in goal with Galanetta, De Giorgio and Kim at the back. Malakovic with Okmar, Jose and Salami, and Lanes and German behind Alberto up top. Let's get going. So yeah, things are going okay. I think we're looking quite good. I think we're doing well. Let's put it that way. We seem to be anyway. But hey, you never know really what to expect after you've done a transfer window. But I think things are going quite well personally. I think we're doing all right. we though? I don't know. But Mankovic to Gerhata. Gerhata back to the keeper, to Kim, to Okmar. Galetta. Jacobs plays it on towards Galetta, but it's been intercepted by Dortmund. But luckily, Jose comes back, regains it, and passes it back to Jacobs. To George. Jose. So, while this never-ending highlight goes on, let's talk about Michael Blade, the ex-Sunderland manager. So, he's just ruined his whole career, basically. If you don't know what's going on, he's used a second Twitter account to ridicule the fans, berate anybody that says anything bad about him, basically call out the owners and everything. And he's been caught. Now, that's terrible in itself, don't get me wrong. But then he goes on to deny this, even though the Twitter account was a Twitter account founded by his company that he set up and was openly messaging from in like 2017, I think it was. And he clearly was him. It's Luis Alberto's pulled it back to 1-1. Fantastic. But managers we know start to criticise the club or the fans or both when they want an out, when they don't feel that they have the support of the players, or they don't feel that what they're doing is working, or they feel their time is up and they want to move on for bigger and better things. They criticise either the club, the players, or the fans, and they do that openly. And everybody knows that 90% of the time it's to get fired. That 10% is when they're generally not very nice people, i.e. Roy Keane. But I think this, doing what he's done by openly criticising anybody that criticises him, openly saying the club sucks, the fans suck, the players suck, going into it about the players, pretending this person's a fan, and being quite ruthless in some occasion. He's surely never going to work again. And there's one way to get around it, is when he was caught. Oh, Galetta has put the ball in the back of the net to make it 2-1. Maybe this is the future. Maybe I don't look at the game and talk to you boys and girls. So there was one way out of it, and that was for him to say, yes, it was me, it was a mistake, or yes, it was me, I'm unhappy at the club, I just want out, or this is me, this is how I feel. They were the only things you could do to save any kind of face, was to just acknowledge the fact that you've done it and you can't undo it, and you've been caught. And he's not the only person to do things like that. Many people have secondary accounts for various reasons. But here's the thing. He denies it, and he refuses to understand the uproar, which is obviously he's been sacked. But my theory is, question I suppose to some extent, is, do you guys think he'll ever get another job in management in football? Has he burnt his bridges? Because as obviously as a fan, I can't see any club ever being happy with him as their manager. For someone to do it's one thing, but to lie about doing it is something completely different. And any manager any club worth anything just won't touch him with a barge pole now. And the ball's squared across to Luis Alberto, who puts it in the back of the net. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And we'll think of something else to say for the second game, because this has worked really well. Just don't acknowledge there's a game going on, I think, is the key. Jose is going to go forward and we'll bring Samuel on. That'll do. We're just making some changes for the last 10 minutes, freshen things up. Oops, I've got to press play, otherwise it won't work. Yeah, so yeah, that's my take on it. I think he's an idiot and should never be hired again. And if he was ever hired as my club manager, there'd be uproar. But let me know what you think down in the comments. It's interesting topic at the moment. So that's it for the Dortmund game. Now it's time, and that be very, very quiet, people. That puts us top of the league. And let's go on to face Bayern Leverkusen, who are currently struggling down in 9th. I'll see you in a second for the team. So, for today's game against Bayern Leverkusen, we have Jacobs in goal, with Silvio, Giorgio and Galletti up at the back, with Milinkovic, Samuel, Jose and Salami in midfield, Lanes and Gurman behind Luis Alberto up top. Let's get going. Any kind of result would be good. Again, we obviously won the last game unexpectedly. So, is there a potential to win this game? I mean, we're currently 3 points. We will be 3 points behind Dortmund on top. So a win here would put us level on points and back at the top of the table on goal difference. Believe it or not. And personally, I can't see us being that good just yet. Waits, just over the crossbar. We know how good Waite is after having him at 2 previous clubs. Lanes tries to feed Alberto through but unable to. And the key for this is to produce. Jordan Waite has put the ball in the back of the net to get his 4th of the season. But the referee's checking with VAR. I think it was onside, but it wasn't apparently. I thought that was onside. Wow, he's just offside, and we've escaped their lanes. Tries to play it to Gurman, but Gurman unable to get there. Here's Samuel, plays it back to Jacobs. Jacobs to Giorgio, to Silvio, back to Jacobs, to Galetta, Samuel, Jose, back to Jacobs. Galetta, Jose, plays it out to Salami, who's tries to run forward, but his first touch was appalling. And now Bayern Leverkusen have the ball, and are they going to suddenly turn it round? Here's Minguez to White. White to Carr, who's put the ball in the back of the net. Musa Core, sorry, not Carr, Core. Core. It's like dove from above. And if we signed him, that's what he would be called, the dove from above. Lane's on the ball, plays it back to Galetta, tries to play it forward to Samuel, but Samuel's unable to get there. Samuel doesn't look particularly good so far, from what I've seen, and Waite has put the ball in the back of the net to make it Bayern Leverkusen 2, Stuttgart 0. Now, you know, this isn't bad. I mean, we're expected to finish. For me, a top 4 finish would be a good thing this season. Oh, Milikovic has put the ball in the back of the net to make it 3-0. Everyone's looking at the linesman here, though. The goal's been disallowed for offside. Let's have another look at this. Yes, the pass out wide was offside. Salami plays it in, unable to find a white shirt. And from Marquez to Giorgio, Garman, Lanes now, plays it across. Jose, Salami, back to Jose, who's been fouled there right on the edge of the box. It's definitely on the edge of the box. It wasn't in the area. Well, we all knew that. Some of these decisions, like, is it a penalty or not, are just too obvious. I think it needs to be a little bit better. Hopefully, next game, FM25, it will be a bit obvious. So, that's one thing we are going to talk about, I think, in the second half of the episode. We are going to wait till half time. We're going to make some changes because I'm not happy with the way that certain players have been playing. So changes will be made. And here come Bayern Leverkusen again. Hughes plays it on to Core. Plays it back. Hughes now on the ball again. Plays it across and it's headed clear, but only as far as from, and Marquez, whose shot goes off the post and out for a goal kick. So, first of all, we're going to thrash arms and be not happy with this. Second of all, we are going to bring Salami off for Kuda. We are going to bring Sojkek on for Milikovic. Giorgio could probably do the rest, so we'll bring Kim on for Giorgio. And one other player that wasn't playing well was German. So we're going to bring Lanes there. We're going to bring Jose further up. And we're going to bring Freya on. Silvio into the midfield. Let's see if 4 changes at half time. And we're going to have faith in the players coming on. Have a go at the players that are coming off to some extent. And here we go. So, speaking of FM25, I know it's a long way away, but with the inclusion of women's football, now, do we do our beta save with female team? Or my thinking was, say for example, we do it with a team. I don't know, let's pick a team from scratch. Let's just say Chelsea. Okay. Do we have 2 managers in the save? So we manage the women's and the men's, so we can see the difference maybe in the match engine, and we'll compare them. We'll do sort of 2 games side by side, and then I will commentate over the top of them. Potentially what we could do is zoom in on one game. That's what I'm currently thinking of doing, is a man and a female game, managing both the male team and the female team, and seeing what we could do potentially. Because it only has to be sort of 1 season doing that, and then maybe start a different, continue one of them, and move on like that. I like that idea. Obviously, one of the managers retires. Maybe we have a vote on which manager is retired, and do it that way. I think could be interesting, but we'll see what could potentially happen. It looks like this game's all over at 3-0. Lanes to Luis Alberto, who puts the ball in the back of the net to make it 3-1. They do like it. Clearly, the boys don't like attention. We start talking about something else, and they play a little bit better. But that was my thinking on FM25. Obviously, it's a way away. We know it's coming for the first time in years. We know FM25 is coming. So, normally, we'd be waiting for the official announcement that we're going to have the game. But they've already announced it. They announced it before this game was out. So, interesting. As you can see, we actually lost a friendly against Dynamo Dresden, which was 100% our youth and reserve players. I mean, German, I think, was the only... We had a couple of the normal guys starting, but not many. So, we'll play a few games off camera, and I think what we will do is we will come back for Bayern Munich and Union Berlin. I was umming and ahhing whether to do Leipzig or Union Berlin. Let's do Union Berlin for the pure fact it'll be nice to see if we can win any games, win a game on camera again. like we do with Dortmund. So, if you've enjoyed that, please leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. I've been the Masked Manager, and until next time, I have spoken.